Yeah, a lot of surprisingly, a lot of news got covered on this when there's so many more bigger things that affect so many more people that don't get a lot of news. So in you know, in one big beautiful bill, it put this termination date. You must start your project by July 4th of 2026, or you must place the project in service by December 31st of 2027. And it shortly after, I think the day after one big beautiful bill came out, the president issued an executive order that essentially said, we're going to make it harder for projects to safe harbor. And if they're over a megawatt and a half, they must meet the physical work test. They can't safe harbor by the 5% rule. Um, that process, certainly means, again, getting a permit, breaking ground on a large project, lots of work that needs to go into that. And so that makes it very hard for a 70 megawatt solar farm to get off the ground, right? It's much easier under a 5% rule. So the administration got sued. That went to the courts. And a couple of weeks ago, a judge ruled that that wasn't allowed, right? And so a project that's over a megawatt and a half could still safe harbor with the 5% rule by July 4th. Generally speaking, it's probably not going to apply to too many projects that you're working on because they're, need to be a megawatt and a half or larger. Um, Most of those, if they were going to happen, have already kind of had a lot of things kind of moving on them. But if you have that case, we could definitely talk about it and what needs to happen there. I'm not too excited about it because Trump's appealing, the administration's appealing that there's going to be another ruling. And so now, even if you are following this guidance, you may be able to do so in good faith, but you're kind of running into how the court's going to ultimately decide that. So it got a lot of press, but in my opinion, it's kind of a nothing burger in a lot of ways because it doesn't affect too many projects.